Hello, and thank you for watching this regional forecast for the Canadian Prairie. I'm Andrew Pritchard, meteorologist with Nutrient Ag Solutions. As we head through the next few days, we're going to be watching another front move through the prairie, bringing another shot of colder air, sending us well below average and well below freezing across essentially the entire prairie here for our overnight lows as we head through the rest of the week. We're also going to watch another storm system develop across the northern plains of the U.S., traveling through the northern plains and then swinging through parts of Ontario, bringing another shot of accumulating snow to mainly eastern portions of the prairie, although a big chunk of the prairie going to see a chance for at least a little light coating, but some significant snowfall possible across parts of Manitoba and perhaps far southwestern Saskatchewan. We'll be talking a lot about that, both of those, the cold and the snow, as we head through this forecast. Starting off looking at the satellite picture here, we've got a pleasant start to the day across parts of southeastern Alberta into southern Saskatchewan over into Manitoba. Plenty of sunshine as we get the day started. As you look off to the left side of the screen, though, you see the very strong jet stream winds kind of blasting ashore from the west coast here across the Pacific Ocean into British Columbia and then coming over the top of the mountains into Alberta. That's what's going to help trigger a storm system again that's going to be bringing colder air in and then bringing some snow to parts of the prairie as we head into the middle to late part of the week. Now, looking underneath those clouds, we do have some precipitation falling here across mainly northwestern and north central portions of Alberta. Again, a quiet start to the day across Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Now, our snow cover right now, we melted most of that across the prairie. We do still have some on the ground here across mainly southwestern Alberta, getting into the higher elevations here on the border of Alberta and British Columbia. The rest of the snow was able to melt with a period of quiet temperatures and quiet weather as we went through the weekend. Now, let's dive straight into it. Let's not waste any time here. Let's try and diagnose what is coming together here as we head through the middle to late part of the week to bring this shot of snow. As we head through just the next 24 to 48 hours, we'll watch this front sweep through the region, perhaps dropping some snow here on the border of Alberta and British Columbia into southern Alberta here before diving into the northern plains with high pressure on the backside here as we go through Wednesday and Thursday. So an early shot of snow here for portions, far western portions of the prairie here, mainly across southern Alberta here as we head through. This would be getting into late tonight, perhaps starting in the early morning hours across southern Alberta, lingering into part of Tuesday afternoon and evening before coming to a quiet end here heading into Wednesday. This is high pressure on the backside right now, and this is a cold high pressure. This is where we get a lot of cold air coming on the backside of this front here. The front at this point making its way through the prairie by the time we get to Wednesday afternoon, and then all the way through by the time we get to Wednesday evening. So right now, as we head into Tuesday, Wednesday, and then mainly Thursday here, the big story is going to be the cold. That wave of cold air that comes in here over the next 24 to 36 hours. So that's the big story here over the first half of the week. As we get into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, now we're watching the storm system begin to develop down here across parts of the north central plains, across the Midwest of the United States. With all that cold air coming in on the backside now, that's where we're seeing the snow starting across the northern plains of the U.S., but then beginning to move up into parts of southern Manitoba. That continues as we head through the weekend here, Friday, Saturday, and then perhaps even into early Sunday. It's really as this storm system parks itself that we see the heaviest snow falling again Friday into Saturday. Now, as you look at something like this, very sharp cutoff here where we have, very heavy snow and no snow at all falling. You see right in between those two lines. So kind of right here would be our rain snow cutoff. So you can kind of guess here, if we shift this thing 50 miles to the left, 50 miles to the right, or to the west or to the east, that makes a huge difference as far as where the heaviest snow is going to fall, and we don't yet have agreement between our more major long-term models. So the GFS right now, this is what we're looking at, has this center of low pressure seated right here, and kind of near Duluth, Minnesota, and that brings a lot of heavy snow to southeastern Manitoba into western Ontario. The European model has a different picture here. It has the storm system further to the west, bringing more of the heavy snow into southeastern Saskatchewan and southern Manitoba. We're going to take a look here and kind of diagnose where I think the snow is going to be falling here in just a moment. I just really quickly wanted to show the precipitable water loop. This kind of shows where all of this comes from. We watch the system, the circulation come in from the west, but then as we get into the early to mid part of the week, we're going to watch a lot of moisture feeding in from the south. We'll go ahead and we'll play this here over the next couple of days. I'm going to go ahead and jump back. Start going through the next few days. We watch this first front come sweeping through, but already as we're getting into Wednesday, now you're seeing the moisture kind of funneling up through the central and northern plains right here. Then we see the area of low pressure develop. It parks itself right here. Now you're seeing the moisture kind of riding up and over the top here. This is where we'd get the moisture feeding up and over the top into the cold air that's parked across this region, and that's where we get a lot of the heavy snowfall that we're going to see with the storm system. So again, it's moisture coming up from the Gulf of Mexico through the central United States, wrapping up and around that area of low pressure, over the top of that into the cold air, bringing that heavy snow again during the later part of the week. All right, now given that we have major differences between our long-range models here, with the GFS taking the easterly track here, bringing heavy snow into southeastern Manitoba and western Ontario, and then we have the European model taking the more westerly track, and I'll let you know that the Canadian model also agrees with the European model, bringing some snow through southeastern Manitoba or southeastern Saskatchewan into a big chunk of Manitoba with that westerly track. What I've done here is put together my highest probability of greater than 15 centimeters. You got to excuse me here. I need another cup of coffee as I try to get my Monday morning and my week off to the right start here. This is very much 15 centimeters of snow. So we have the first system. The first front comes through, kind of rides along the higher elevations here, along the border of Alberta and British Columbia. Some of the higher elevations picking up more than 15 centimeters of snow here as well. Quiet weather on the backside as we head through the next couple of days. It's as we get into Thursday and then especially Friday and Saturday that we'll see this easterly corridor begin to fill in with some snow as well. Now again, this is where I think the heaviest snow tracks here, greater than 15 centimeters of snow. On the high side, I think the heaviest corridor that we see track through here, on the high side, we're probably looking at 30 to 40 centimeters of snow, perhaps some local areas picking up greater than 40 centimeters of snow, but I think 30 to 40 on the high side is probably a good bet somewhere in this corridor. Now, of course, this depends on the exact track of the system, which we're going to try and nail down here over the next few days. We're still talking about 4 to 5 days out into the future, but for now, somewhere in this corridor from southeastern Saskatchewan in through southern and central Manitoba, likely looking at greater than 15 centimeters of snow. Now I'll finish here showing you this loop of temperatures. You know, we moderated some over the weekend, seeing seasonally appropriate temperatures into the region, but you will watch as this loop plays. The cold front come plunging in from the northwest. There it is, spilling all the way into parts of the Midwest, bringing a shot of cooler air to even a big chunk of the Corn Belt in the United States, watching for our first frost to shut down a big chunk of the growing season across the northern plains and the upper Midwest, heading into the middle to late part of this week. Now, total liquid precipitation in millimeters. Now I can talk about millimeters, watching this first system come down here, dropping anywhere from 20 to 30 millimeters of snow on the high elevation areas here along the border of Alberta and British Columbia. Elsewhere across the prairie, isolated to scattered amounts here on the low side, expecting mostly 5 to 10 millimeters of precipitation across the remainder of Alberta. Again, a scattered light precipitation over the next few days on the west side of the prairie. High temperatures for the next couple of days here. Our Monday high temperatures say goodbye to the warmth. We'll see highs in the mid to upper teens across southern Alberta today, but the front moves through, dropping us to near or just below freezing as we head through the overnight and wake up on Tuesday morning. Tuesday, your afternoon highs staying near freezing and dropping well below zero Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Overnight lows anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees below zero. Not rebounding much on the backside here Wednesday either, with afternoon high temperatures once again very close to the freezing mark. Total precipitation as we shift off to the east, watching the beginnings of this storm system now tracking through southeastern Saskatchewan into southern and central Manitoba. By the time we get to the end of this loop, we're only watching through Thursday afternoon. Let me go ahead and get this to the last frame. So through Thursday evening, looking at total liquid precipitation here, about 10 to 20 millimeters, but then we really see it stack up Friday and Saturday right in this corridor here, expecting some heavier precipitation. Again, with greater than 15 centimeters of snow, perhaps a corridor of 30 to 40 centimeters of snow in there Friday to Saturday. I need to stop talking about that, though, because we'll wait till Wednesday to hopefully get some more detail. Your high temperatures for the day here. We'll take a look at the overnight lows here. That was the wrong map over there, but afternoon high temperatures today across southern Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Again, 15 degrees to 20 degrees on the warm side here. Saying goodbye to that as the front comes through overnight tonight. Staying on the warm side across eastern portions here, southern Manitoba. Overnight lows right around 10 degrees. As we head into the afternoon tomorrow, seeing our high temperatures right around the freezing mark, with overnight lows Tuesday night into Wednesday right around 0 degrees, with below zero to the west and a few degrees below zero as you head off to the east. As always, Eric Snodgrass will have an in-depth look at the evolution of the next 1 to 2 weeks in our Thursday morning ag forecast video. We'll be back to talk about the Canadian Prairie once again on Wednesday. We'll give you more updates on the pending winter storm across southern Manitoba and perhaps southeastern Saskatchewan. Have a wonderful day and a great start to your week.